Hello everybody and welcome back, where today it's finally time. It's Days of Play, and if you've been looking to pick up a PSVR2 headset or some other PSVR2 games, now is the time. Before we get into it though, only 25% you are subscribed, so please feel free to do so, and thank you to our patrons and members who keep this channel going day to day and week after week. With that being said, let's take a look at some new PSVR2 news and the Days of Play sale. The two key pieces of news for today, in my opinion, are that Maestro is now on for pre-order. This is the orchestra conducting game that has a bunch of DLC, including Game of Thrones, Star Wars, and Harry Potter, that also utilizes hand tracking, which we've been highly anticipating ever since hand tracking got announced. The pre-order price has dropped to €22.49, which is about 10.5 euros down from where it used to be, so that's very interesting. If you like to pick it up, it's now down a bit, and I'm assuming this price will go up after launch. I myself are very much looking forward to this one. A very exciting piece of news for me is that my game of the year from last year, Behemoth, is getting a free DLC, including a brand new revamped arena mode, which was a little bit bare bones before. You'd just fight waves of enemies and that would be about it, and the Behemoth Trials, which I'm assuming is a way to replay the Behemoth fights without having to dredge through the story if you've already completed it multiple times and don't want to do so. I'm incredibly excited for this. Behemoth I thought was incredible, and I've been looking for an excuse to revisit this one on the channel, so this seems like the perfect opportunity. With that being said, let's look at Days of Play, shall we? As anticipated, we've got about £50, euro, or dollar off the headset, so that brings it down to about £350 or so, or the equivalent in your country. This isn't quite as much as the last Days of Play, I think, but as we said in a video a couple days ago, due to the reduction in PSVR2 price overall, this seems to about line up, to be honest, to hit pretty much the same discount marker there, so you're not missing out on too much in terms of the pricing if you missed it last year and decide to pick it up now. Even now, I'd say PSVR2 is a fantastic piece of kit to pick up if you want to use it on PC or PS5. It's capable at both. It's got a great feature set. The only downsides for me really are the Fresnel lenses with that sweet spot, but to be honest, you kind of get used to it, and a head strap really helps with that, and the fact that it's a little bit bulkier than some newer headsets in terms of the actual size of the HMD. But to be honest, it's still very light, very well balanced, and quite comfortable. So if you want to pick up a PSVR2, now is the time. And if you want to pick up a PS5 console, they're also about £100, dollars, or euros off, so go take a look at the full sale. Hardware isn't the only thing on sale though. We also have some games on sale, including, but not limited to, my favourite ghost hunting game of last year, Phasmophobia. It's £11.61 down from £15.49, and this game's cheap anyway, but even cheaper now with this additional discount, and I'd recommend this if you're looking for a co-op game to play with friends. Even if they're in the flat screen, it is hybrid, so you can jump on flat or VR and play with people on both. So Phasmophobia, I'd thoroughly recommend. Another hybrid game that is honestly just fantastic in terms of how much content there is No Man's Sky. This game has been updated for free for the last 10 years, adding tons of new content, so much to do, and it also looks fantastic and plays fantastic on PS5 Pro from what I hear. On base PS5 it can struggle a little bit on the more intense planets, but to be honest, this game has probably so much tech debt over the years that I'm kind of shocked that it runs as well as it does as it stands. Utilizing foveated rendering and haptics, this is an immersive way to explore the universe, and again, a good time with friends. £15.99 is what it'll cost you, down from £40, that's 60% off. Yet another hybrid game, but not one that's multiplayer this time, is Hitman World of Assassination. We're looking at the deluxe edition being on sale here. This is £35.99 down from £80, so giving you every single Hitman game, Hitman 1, 2 and 3, access to all that content. However, if you do end up picking this up, you'll have to pay another £10 for the PSVR2 upgrade, so by the end of it, you'll be looking at about £46 to get yourself up and running with all the content available in Hitman on PSVR2, but to be honest, I'd say that's worth it. It's one of the most immersive sandboxes in VR, and possibly the best release of this year. And Vertigo's take at the Metro franchise is on sale for £23.09, although I believe this might be on PS Plus Premium as well if I remember right, or it might be a trial for it, but either way, if you're on Premium, give it a go. This is 30% off, and I really enjoyed Metro Awakening. As a Metro fan, I was really looking forward to it. It wasn't my favourite game from last year, but it was up there. The story I really enjoyed. The gunplay was a marked improvement on Vertigo's previous games, and it felt like a cohesive VR game that was well put together and definitely worth your time. If you want to grab another of Vertigo's games, the Arizona Sunshine remake, that'll cost you £14.99, about £10 off its original price of £24.99. This is one of the classic zombie shooters from the PSVR 1 era, remade from the ground up, and it certainly feels that way. It's also a great time in co-op. I'd recommend blasting zombies with a friend if you get the time. Its sequel, Arizona Sunshine 2, is also £19.99 at 50% off. It pretty much does everything better than the original, with more content, guns, places to go, and the entire thing is playable co-op as well, as you would expect from an Arizona game. The deluxe edition of Alien Rogue Incursion is also on sale for £19.99 at 50% off. The digital deluxe edition gives you a little bit of extra content, including some camos and the digital art book, which, to be honest, the game looks pretty beautiful, so it'll be interesting to see how the art book looks in terms of where they came up with some of these designs. But overall, I'd be paying this money for the game itself, because Alien Rogue Incursion is pretty damn great. It's a lot more action than horror compared to a game like Isolation, for example, but if you're an Alien fan, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 is on sale for 40% off, and you save 10% more with PS Plus at £19.79. This is based on the latter Five Nights at Freddy's games, if I remember right, including Security Breach, Sister Location, that sort of thing. I personally kind of don't really connect that well with this half of the franchise, so I haven't really played Help Wanted 2. From what I hear, it's not as scary as the first game. For me, that kind of makes sense because the original FNAF games, I feel like, were a little bit more focused on pure creepiness and eeriness, which kind of translated to Help Wanted 1, but if you're a fan of the latter FNAF stuff, you'll get a kick out of Help Wanted 2 for sure, as you relive some of the nights in VR and perform tasks like maintenance and other minigames. Another co-op shooter, After the Fall, which is a little bit like Left 4 Dead but with snow zombies instead, is £5.59. This is kind of a steal for the amount of content that you get here, as this is the complete edition as well, so you get pretty much everything, I think, in terms of missions. This is another one of Vertigo's games, and I find that this kind of falls into the trap of having quite stiff gunplay, like some of Vertigo's earlier games did, but it still is a lot of fun to fight zombies and do these Horde-style missions with friends, and for this price, I definitely recommend having a look at least. Another game that has both co-op and solo is the Wizards Dark Times Brotherhood. This honestly is a game that just makes you feel like Doctor Strange casting spells, all with hand gestures, which is really cool. There's a single player campaign and some set co-op missions that can keep you occupied for a couple hours and make you really feel like you're performing magic. Overall, those are my top picks from this sale that I've personally played. There's also Tetris Effect, The Seventh Guest, Townsman, Res Infinite, Humanity, Thumper, and A Fisherman's Tale 2. But aside from A Fisherman's Tale, which I did quite enjoy to be fair, I haven't played the rest, so I wasn't going to really delve into them too much, but definitely take a look at the sale yourself, because depending on your region, there might be some extra games in there. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.